Welcome back to the Workshop Dojo. Now, why did I decide to buy a Festool Kapex 120? Yes, as you can see, I have a Kapex. Yes, I'm gonna tell you the top 5 reasons why I decided to buy a Festool Kapex 120. Number 1 is accuracy straight out of the box. And I mean accuracy straight out of the box. I mean, every miter saw that I've had up to this point, okay, I had to spend like hours and hours to try to nudge it here and nudge it there and try to get it flat and square. And it was never really square, not really. And it was never really perfectly accurate straight out of the box. Now, anybody that knows me knows that I value my time. My time is, well, basically my time's running out, like everybody else's time. So time is money, and I don't really want to spend time and hassle trying to get it accurate and square. I want to be doing other things, okay? So that was majorly important to me, and that's probably the first number 1 reason why I decided to get a Kapex. Number 2, this might sound strange to some of you, but I've always worked in confined spaces. I live in central London and there's no space at all, okay? Everything is tight, there's nowhere to do everything. Everybody's squashed up in tiny little spaces, which means that space is a premium in a big city. Now, one of the main issues for me was that the sliding action on the miter saw didn't slide back behind the miter saw, it slid forward, because it meant that the whole unit could go right back against the wall. It wasn't sticking out. And that is actually quite a critical issue for me personally, and anybody that has a really small office, studio or workshop space, and there's absolutely no space for a saw to be sticking all the way out, because it will probably be sticking out into the walkway where people got walk. So this really was a key point why I decided that I was going to go for a Kapex. Now, the number 3 reason was the laser marking, and not only the laser marking, it was the laser kerf. Okay, this is something that I really did not get for many years. I drew a line and I cut on the line, and I didn't really understand the size of the blade was actually taking off part of the measurement. I didn't really get that. And it took me a long time to really understand that and to get my measurements really accurate. Now, what I love about this saw is that laser gives you not a laser line, but gives you the kerf line, so you can actually see exactly where the saw is going to cut, and you can actually work out on which side you actually want to cut. Because A cut is not a cut is not a cut. When you cut into something, you have to take into consideration the size of the instrument or the saw that's going to be cutting it. And that was a key element why I decided, well, one of the key elements that I decided why I was going to go for a Festool Kapex. Number 4, well, you know what? I mean, this is on the list of anybody that looks at Festool. Anybody that's looking at Festool is going to be looking at the dust extractant, because the dust extraction is key for all of the Festool equipment, and everything that's linked into Festool, everything has dust extraction. So you want to get the maximum dust extraction. I mean, the dust extraction is not perfect on the Festool, but I'm telling you now, it's much better than anything that I was used to. I mean, my last miter saw was a DeWalt, and it just cascaded. It was like when I cut, it was like a snowstorm. You had no choice but to cut outside, no choice whatsoever, and it would litter everywhere with sawdust. Even if the Kapex can reduce that by kind of 50, 60, 70%, it's certainly worthwhile. It's not perfect. I know a couple of people were complaining about it, and they were saying, you know, online reviews and saying, oh, there's still some dust around the Kapex. Okay, all right. I mean, there's going to be a little bit of stuff kind of flicking out. It's not going to be perfect. I think one of the main issues as far as dust extraction is concerned on the Kapex is the size of the hose. A lot of people are using small hose sizes, and really, as far as I can tell, you want maximum dust extraction, you've got to go for the larger hose size for the Kapex. That's one of the key elements. But for me, okay, dust extraction, major key. And finally, my number 5 reason, I mean, I'm a Festool person, you know. I mean, you know that because you can see that I always buy Festool gear when I possibly can. I mean, my gear isn't 100% Festool, but I'm certainly trying to make it as much Festool as I possibly can. And I mean, you know, come on, what am I going to get? What, am I going to get a Makita? Really? Come on. I mean, obviously, I'm a Festool guy. I'm going to be going for a Festool track saw. You know, I mean, it's a done deal, of course. You know, what else would I be choosing? Makita? Okay, in conclusion, right, first thing that I want to point out is that a lot of people say that they bought this because it's light. Well, I'm telling you now, it ain't light, trust me. This is as heavy as everything else. There's nothing light about this, okay? So I warn you up front. But that said, I mean, come on. As Tina Turner said, simply the best, better than all the rest. It's the best. Come on. At the end of the day, Festool Kapex, it is the best. It's expensive, but it's the best. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that video. I'll see you on the next workshop dojo. Take care of yourself.